Hello everyone and welcome to the hands-on demo on Amazon SageMaker. So in this demo, we will create an Amazon S3 bucket for storing data and model artifacts. Then we will create an Amazon SageMaker notebook instance. Then we will prepare data and upload it to S3 using the notebook instance. Then we will train a machine learning model using a SageMaker built-in algorithm, and that algorithm is linear learner. Then we deploy the trained model to a SageMaker endpoint. Then we test the whole setup by invoking the endpoint, and finally we will clean up the resources to avoid ongoing charges. So this is how it looks like, this lab. So we have a notebook, SageMaker notebook, and we will prepare some data. We will upload it to S3. Then we will train a model which is linear learner, and then this will generate a trained model, and we will deploy the endpoint, and then finally we will test the whole setup. So first step, to create an Amazon S3 bucket for storing data and model artifacts. So first I will create a S3 bucket. So this is the S3 bucket name. So I'll copy the bucket name. I have logged into AWS console home and I will search for S3. So click on S3. And click on create bucket, general purpose, and I will choose the default US East North Virginia region, which is the default region. So you have to make sure you set up the region. So for most of the demo or the labs, I just pick the default region, and you can also do the same. So I'll copy the bucket name and keep all the settings default and click on create bucket. So the bucket is created. So next I will create a Amazon SageMaker notebook instance. So first I will go to the SageMaker service. So search for SageMaker, and I will open this in a new tab. So this is how it will look like when you log in for the first time, and it may ask you to go to SageMaker AI. So you can click that and open that in a new window or a new tab. So you will go to the Amazon SageMaker, and after this you can just make yourself familiarized with the interface. So you have application and IDs. You have Studio, Canvas, RStudio, TensorBoard, and we will be working with notebooks, and there are other things. So this is the all-in-one platform for all your machine learning and AI needs. So you have domains, all those things, and foundation models, governance. So let's open this up. So you have governance, hyperpod clusters, ground truth, processing, training plans, inference, augmented AI, and AWS marketplace. So next we will create a notebook. So for that we will go to the notebooks. So I come here and I'll just scroll up and go to click on notebooks, which is under applications and IDs, and click on create notebook instance. So I have to provide some values. So I'll just call it my SageMaker lab instance. So I'll copy the value, notebook instance name, paste it, and notebook instance type. So I'll choose the default ML-T3 medium, so which is the default ML-T3 medium, and Amazon Linux 2 Jupyter Lab 4, so which is the default value, and rest all you can keep as default, and we will create a role. So other settings are default, and under IAM role, click on create a new role, specify S3 buckets. So just choose this option, and you have to provide the bucket name. So here you have to provide SageMaker lab demo, and so I'll go here and copy the bucket name. So just take the bucket name, and when you are doing the demo, make sure you just add something at the end, just random number. So in case this bucket is not available, because it's globally unique, so you cannot take if somebody has already taken this particular name. So I'll come to this particular create IAM role screen and paste the S3 bucket for which it will have the permission to make changes, read and write. So click on create role, and this has created a role, and this will give all the necessary access. Under network, keep all the default settings and click on create notebook instance. So this will go ahead and create the instance, and first it will be in pending state, and after some time it will go in service. So after creating the role, it will go in pending state, and then once it's in service, we will open the Jupyter lab. So let's wait for some time, and once it goes into in service, I will resume the video. Okay, so after 5 minutes, the SageMaker lab instance is in service. So next step is we will open a Conda Python 3 notebook. So click on open Jupyter lab first, and that will open the Jupyter lab in a new window. And once that, so it will launch the notebook instance, and once it comes up, we will open the Conda Python 3 notebook, and this is the code so I'll just open this in Visual Studio Code so I can explain what it's doing. So this particular code is getting us, first it will get a SageMaker session, execution role and S3 bucket. So we will import some libraries such as pandas, numpy, SageMaker, boto3 and io, and we'll initialize the S3 client for S3 bucket so that we will save the data. So it will also generate the sample data, and we are just putting the values for SageMaker session, and we are getting the execution role, so that role which we have created. And make sure you replace your S3 bucket name from step 1, and then provide, so this will get a region. So it will print some information first, and then this is the important part. It will generate sample data, and this will predict house prices based on the size. So here the feature is size. So there is only one feature, which is size, which is in square feet, and target price, which is in thousands of dollars. So we'll have a first random seed. So we're putting a random seed for reproducibility, and number of samples that will generate is 100, and house size will be random init, random, and this will generate a random integer between so this will be between 500 to 3500. So this will be the square feet. So that is the size of the house, and then we will generate this sample house price. So we are just saying start with 50 and then 0.1 into house size and a random normal number of samples. So just let me show the original code. So I'll copy the whole thing and go here. So there's a minor change. So this is the part. So basically we are saying 50,000 plus. So that is the base price for any house. So even if it is 500 square feet, and after that, based on the house size, right? So as the house gets bigger, the price will get bigger, and then we are putting some values between 0 to 20 and number of samples, and then we are making it as converting it to integer. So once I show you the data, it will become clear what it does. And then we are just creating a data frame which with price, which is the house price. So first house price and the size, and then we are just printing out some sample data. So we are taking head. So this will give you the first 5 rows of the sample data, and then we are converting the data frame to CSV string. So it will just have house price and the size, right? And then we are doing 2 CSV, header false and index false. So this will become clear. So the data will look something like this. So we have the house price and the square feet, and then we are defining some S3 path, which we are just prefixing. So this is the bucket name that I have created, right? And it will put a prefix, and then it will store this training.csv file. So that will have 100 samples, and then it will just save it, upload the CSV data to S3, and define output path for model artifacts. And this will save the place where it will, after training the model, it will create a model and it will save it to this location. So this is the whole code. So let me just copy the whole code, and then I go to the Jupyter Lab, and so I just resume. So first click on Conda Python 3. So this is the type of notebook, and paste the code. Once we have pasted the code, first we have to make sure that you provide the bucket name. So keep the cursor here and provide the bucket name. So this is the bucket name which I am using. So paste the bucket name, and you can just highlight anywhere and click on this. So it will run this particular cell. So I click this, and this will go ahead and run this whole code. So now you will see here busy. So now this whole code is being run, and it will show the output just below this cell. So I'll just wait a few seconds. So first it is like making a SageMaker session. Then it will print out the execution role. So here, and then the region, the default region which I am working with, and then number of samples and all those things. So it will print out few information, like sample data, and then it will save the information to our S3 bucket which we have created. So you can see found credentials for IAM role, and so base notebook EC2 instance role, and SageMaker role ARN. So this is the role ARN which was created as part of notebook instance, and S3 bucket name and region. So it has printed the first 5 values which is part of head, and so 197. So this is in thousand, like 197,000, 247,000, 237, 230,000, 224,000, and 259,000. So if so this is the sample data. So size is 1,300 square feet, and this is the price, and the training data uploaded to this particular location. So I'll show you that also. So if I go to S3 bucket and click on the S3 bucket and linear learner demo, which is the prefix, and train folder and train.csv. So I'll just download, or maybe I'll just try to open it here. So it will, so I'll just save it to the desktop and replace. So if I go to the Visual Studio Code and open the train.csv, so this is how the data looks like. So we have seen the first 5. So this has generated 100 samples. So this is enough for training the model. So we need training data to create a model, basically train the model. So the model will learn, okay, based on the this particular, right, this feature. So this is the square feet, this is the price. So this is the square feet, this is the price, right? And then next we will train the model. So we have done the first step to generate sample data. So we have seen this, and then train a machine learning model. So this is the whole code. So I'll copy this and open in Visual Studio Code to explain this. And this is the part 2. So this is the, okay, so this is the part where it create a create the training, create a model using the. So first what we do is we create a container. So it's a Docker container. It will retrieve framework, linear learner, region same, and first version. So it will pull a Docker image. Then it will create an estimator, and that estimator will use this container and the role which is from the previous when we created the notebook instance. Then what type, choose a suitable instance type for training. So we are just saying ML, M5 large kind of EC2 instance, and output path, which is the S3 output location which we have created, and SageMaker session which is there in the notebook as part of the previous cell. And these are the hyperparameters. So we have only one feature dimension because we are just have size, which is our input, which is the label, and predictor type regressor. So this is a regression problem, and mini batch size is 32. Then train input. So define the input data channels. So the content type is text CSV, label size is 1. So indicate CSV format where the first column is the target label. So SageMaker input, training input. This is the very specific to SageMaker APIs, Python APIs. So we are giving all the information, and then we are, so from this particular step, right? So this is the training step. So linear estimator dot fit. So basically fit will take this input data channels. So this is inputs data channels and train input, and then it will fit a model. Fit a model is basically train the model, and then it will, once it's done, it will be training job completed. So I'll copy the whole code. So you take the whole code and go to the notebook and paste in the next cell. Once you have pasted, you can just click the run icon, and so this will go ahead and pull the Docker image. It will create a starting the training job, and this will be using an instance type of ML M5 large, and starting the training job. This will be finished. It will not take much time because there's only 100 records in the data file. So let me see what's the next step. So once it's done, you will see something like this. Uploading training data, generated training model, training job completed. So that may take around 150 seconds. So I'll just wait for some more time. So after this, we will deploy the train model to SageMaker endpoint. So now we have generated the model. Now we have to deploy. So that you have to deploy it basically an endpoint. It's like a HTTP endpoint. So that in production, you can just invoke the endpoint. So we are saying deploying model to a SageMaker endpoint, and this is a linear predictor and linear estimator dot deploy. So this is a specific API, and count one, and instance type ML M5 large, serializer. So SageMaker serializer. So this is very specific to the SageMaker APIs, and deserializer. And then finally it will print out the endpoint name. So anyway, I'll copy the code and go to the Jupyter lab. So this has started the training job, preparing the instances for training, and then downloading the input data, which is our CSV file. So okay, after around 5 minutes, it has started the training job, and it has downloaded that input data, then downloaded the training image, the Docker image, and then the training started, and this will be the output that you will see. Once you scroll past this output, you will see that it is uploading the generated training model and completed the training model, and training job completed. So next we will deploy this particular SageMaker model. So deploying model to SageMaker endpoint and run this particular cell. So this code deploying model to SageMaker endpoint. So this will take some time. So it is creating endpoint with name like this, and we will wait for some time. So again, after 5 minutes, endpoint was deployed successfully. So you will see the screen like this, and then we will test the setup. So here I am just, so we will call the endpoint in this case. So this is the real world, right? So we are giving a house size, let's say 1500 square feet, and it has to predict the price based on the training that we did. So we are calling the linear predictor and predict, and we are providing the house size, and this will predicted price, and it will respond. So it will print out, and then we will make one more prediction with 2500 square feet house, and what will be the price. So I'll copy the whole code and go to the Jupyter lab and paste in the next cell and click on run icon. So here you can see predicted price for a house size of 1500 square feet will be $190,520, and for 2500 square feet will be $284,979. So this is based on the training that we did, and that model was invoked via the endpoint, and we saw the output. And now I will just clean up so that you don't incur any charges. So first, delete the SageMaker endpoint. So this is the code. So basically we are saying linear predictor delete endpoint, and this will delete the endpoint. So paste the code and click on the run icon. So deleting endpoint with the name, and so there are two things, endpoint configuration and endpoint also. So once it's deleted, if you go to the SageMaker AI instance console, just scroll down to verify that there are no endpoints available. So for this, I'll just scroll down. I think it's under notebooks. endpoint configuration. So let me just refresh. Let me see where is that screen. Okay, so verify. Okay, it's under inference. So I have to go to the inference, and under inference, so click on endpoint configurations. So it is deleted and the endpoint is also deleted. And after this, you can delete the SageMaker model. So go to the SageMaker console and click on the notebooks. So we'll click, delete the model first. So it is also under the inference. So I come to the SageMaker and under inference models, select the model and actions, delete. Next, we have to shut down these, stop the SageMaker notebook instance as well as delete that. So stop, then delete. So I come to the notebooks and select the notebook, stop. So it will take some time, and after it gets stopped, so now if I try to, it's grayed out. So I'll just wait for some time. Okay, so the notebook instance is stopped, and then just delete this instance so that you don't incur any charges, because this is using a T3 medium instance type, and this will be deleted. And after this, empty the S3 bucket. So go to the S3 console, and so I can just go directly to the buckets and select the SageMaker lab demo and click on empty. Type in permanently delete. So this will empty the bucket, all the objects, and once it's emptied, select the bucket and click on delete. So you have to copy paste the bucket name and click on delete bucket. So that will delete the bucket. So I'll just come here and make sure the, okay, so the notebook instance is also gone. And that's all. Thanks for watching.